or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying...
Perez in goal, back forward Bree, Howard, Bellis, Stevens and Manning. Midfield two of Downs and Bragg with an attacking trio of Cienza, Matsuki and Dobbin behind Kyle Larin, who leads the line. Kick-off fast approaching. Kick-off is fast approaching at Vicarage Road for this championship clash. The first one of this Sunday double is Watford hosting Southampton in this one, and for the home side they have Ravalia in goal, a back four of Traore, Pollock, Keben and Bowler, midfield two of Berva and Cipriano with an attacking trio of Mama, Bravo and Nabi Zada sat just behind Dumbia, who leads the line, whereas for the Saints they have Perez in goal, a back four of Bree, Howard, Bellis, Stevens and Manning, midfield two of Downs and Bragg with an attacking trio of Cienza, Matsuki and Dobbin behind Kyle Larin, who leads the line. Kick-off fast approaching. Kick-off is fast approaching at Vicarage Road for this championship clash. The first one of this Sunday double is Watford hosting Southampton in this one, and for the home side they have Ravalia in goal, a back four of Traore, Pollock, Keben and Bowler, midfield two of Berva and Cipriano with an attacking trio of Mama, Bravo and Nabi Zada sat just behind Dumbia, who leads the line, whereas for the Saints they have Perez in goal, a back four of Bree, Howard, Bellis, Stevens and Manning, midfield two of Downs and Bragg with an attacking trio of Cienza, Matsuki and Dobbin behind Kyle Larin, who leads the line. Kick-off fast approaching. Kick-off is fast approaching at Vicarage Road for this championship clash. The first one of this Sunday double is Watford hosting Southampton in this one, and for the home side they have Ravalia in goal, a back four of Traore, Pollock, Keben and Bowler, midfield two of Berva and Cipriano with an attacking trio of Mama, Bravo and Nabi Zada sat just behind Dumbia, who leads the line, whereas for the Saints they have Perez in goal, a back four of Bree, Howard, Bellis, Stevens and Manning, midfield two of Downs and Bragg with an attacking trio of Cienza, Matsuki and Dobbin behind Kyle Larin, who leads the line. Kick-off fast approaching. Kick-off is fast approaching at Vicarage Road for this championship clash. The first one of this Sunday double is Watford hosting Southampton in this one, and for the home side they have Ravalia in goal, a back four of Traore, Pollock, Keben and Bowler, midfield two of Berva and Cipriano with an attacking trio of Mama, Bravo and Nabi Zada sat just behind Dumbia, who leads the line, whereas for the Saints they have Perez in goal, a back four of Bree, Howard, Bellis, Stevens and Manning, midfield two of Downs and Bragg with an attacking trio of Cienza, Matsuki and Dobbin behind Kyle Larin, who leads the line. Kick-off fast approaching. Kick-off is fast approaching at Vicarage Road for this championship clash. The first one of this Sunday double is Watford hosting Southampton in this one, and for the home side they have Ravalia in goal, a back four of Traore, Pollock, Keben and Bowler, midfield two of Berva and Cipriano with an attacking trio of Mama, Bravo and Nabi Zada sat just behind Dumbia, who leads Bellis, Stevens and Manning, midfield two of Downs and Bragg with an attacking trio of Cienza, Matsuki and Dobbin behind Kyle Larin, who leads the line. Kick-off fast approaching. Kick-off is fast approaching at Vicarage Road for this championship clash. The first one of this Sunday double is Watford hosting Southampton in this one, and for the home side they have Ravalia in goal, a back four of Traore, Pollock, Keben and Bowler, midfield two of Berva and Cipriano with an attacking trio of Mama, Bravo and Nabi Zada sat just behind Dumbia, who leads the line, whereas for the Saints they have Perez in goal, a back four of Bree, Howard, Bellis, Stevens and Manning, midfield two of Downs and Bragg with an attacking trio of Cienza, Matsuki and Dobbin.
Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of
Ravalia in goal. A back four of Traore, Pollock, Kevin and Bolan. Midfield two of Berva and Cipriano, with an attacking trio of Mama, Bravo and Nabi Zada sat just behind Dumbia, who leads the line. Whereas for the Saints, they have Perez in goal. A back four of Bree, Howard, Belly, Stevens and Manning. Midfield two of Downs and Bragg, with an attacking trio of Cienza, Matsuki and Dobbin behind Kyle Larin, who leads the line. Kick-off fast approaching. Kick-off is fast approaching at Vicarage Road for this championship clash. The first one of this Sunday double is Watford hosting Southampton in this one, and for the home side they have Ravalia in goal. A back four of Traore, Pollock, Kevin and Bolan. Midfield two of Berva and Cipriano, with an attacking trio of Mama, Bravo and Nabi Zada sat just behind Dumbia, who leads the line. Whereas for the Saints, they have Perez in goal. A back four of Bree, Howard, Belly, Stevens and Manning. Midfield two of Downs and Bragg, with an attacking trio of Cienza, Matsuki and Dobbin behind Kyle Larin, who leads the line. Kick-off fast approaching. Kick-off is fast approaching at Vicarage Road for this championship clash. The first one of this Sunday double is Watford hosting Southampton in this one, and for the home side they have Ravalia in goal. A back four of Traore, Pollock, Kevin and Bolan. Midfield two of Berva and Cipriano, with an attacking trio of Mama, Bravo and Nabi Zada sat just behind Dumbia, who leads the line. Whereas for the Saints, they have Perez in goal. A back four of Bree, Howard, Belly, Stevens and Manning. Midfield two of Downs and Bragg, with an attacking trio of Cienza, Matsuki and Dobbin behind Kyle Larin, who leads the line. Kick-off fast approaching. Kick-off is fast approaching at Vicarage Road for this championship clash. The first one of this Sunday double is Watford hosting Southampton in this one, and for the home side they have Ravalia in goal. A back four of Traore, Pollock, Kevin and Bolan. Midfield two of Berva and Cipriano, with an attacking trio of Mama, Bravo and Nabi Zada sat just behind Dumbia, who leads the line. Whereas for the Saints, they have Perez in goal. A back four of Bree, Howard, Belly, Stevens and Manning. Midfield two of Downs and Bragg, with an attacking trio of Cienza, Matsuki and Dobbin behind Kyle Larin, who leads the line. Kick-off fast approaching. Kick-off is fast approaching at Vicarage Road for this championship clash. The first one of this Sunday double is Watford hosting Southampton in this one, and for the home side they have Ravalia in goal. A back four of Traore, Pollock, Kevin and Bolan. Midfield two of Berva and Cipriano, with an attacking trio of Mama, Bravo and Nabi Zada sat just behind Dumbia, who leads the line. Whereas for the Saints, they have Perez in goal. A back four of Bree, Howard, Belly, Stevens and Manning. Midfield two of Downs and Bragg, with an attacking trio of Cienza, Matsuki and Dobbin behind Kyle Larin, who leads the line. Kick-off fast approaching. Kick-off is fast approaching at Vicarage Road for this championship clash. The first one of this Sunday double is Watford hosting Southampton in this one, and for the home side they have Ravalia in goal. A back four of Traore, Pollock, Kevin and Bolan. Midfield two of Berva and Cipriano, with an attacking trio of Mama, Bravo and Nabi Zada sat just behind Dumbia, who leads the line. Whereas for the Saints, they have Perez in goal. A back four of Bree, Howard, Belly, Stevens and Manning. Midfield two of Downs and Bragg, with an attacking trio of Cienza, Matsuki and Dobbin behind Kyle Larin, who leads the line. Kick-off fast approaching. Kick-off is fast approaching at Vicarage Road for this championship clash. The first one of this Sunday double is Watford hosting Southampton in this one, and for the home side they have Ravalia in goal. A back four of Traore, Pollock, Kevin and Bolan. Midfield two of Berva and Cipriano, with an attacking trio of Mama, Bravo and Nabi Zada sat just behind Dumbia, who leads the line. Whereas for the Saints, they have Perez in goal. A back four of Bree, Howard, Belly, Stevens and Manning. Midfield two of Downs and Bragg, with an attacking trio of Cienza, Matsuki and Dobbin behind Kyle Larin, who leads the line. Kick-off fast approaching. Kick-off is fast approaching at Vicarage Road for this championship clash. The first one of this Sunday double is Watford hosting Southampton in this one, and for the home side they have Ravalia in goal. A back four of Traore, Pollock, Kevin and Bolan. Midfield two of Berva and Cipriano, with an attacking trio of Mama, Bravo and Nabi Zada sat just behind Dumbia, who leads the line. Whereas for the Saints, they have Perez in goal. A back four of Bree, Howard, Belly, Stevens and Manning. Midfield two of Downs and Bragg, with an attacking trio of Cienza, Matsuki and Dobbin behind Kyle Larin, who leads the line. Kick-off fast approaching. Kick-off is fast approaching at Vicarage Road for this championship clash. The first one of the Sunday double is Watford hosting Southampton in this one, and for the home side they have Ravalia in goal. A back four of Traore, Pollock, Keben and Bowler. Midfield two of Berva and Cipriano, with an attacking trio of Mama, Bravo and Nabi Zada sat just behind Dumbia, who leads the line, whereas for the Saints they have Perez in goal. A back four of Bree, Howard, Bellis, Stevens and Manning. Midfield two of Downs and Bragg, with an attacking trio of Cienza, Matsuki and Dobbin behind Kyle Larin, who leads the line. Kick-off fast approaching. Kick-off is fast approaching at Vicarage Road for this championship clash. The first one of the Sunday double is Watford hosting Southampton in this one, and for the home side they have Ravalia in goal. A back four of Traore, Pollock, Keben and Bowler. Midfield two of Berva and Cipriano, with an attacking trio of Mama, Bravo and Nabi Zada sat just behind Dumbia, who leads the line, whereas for the Saints they have Perez in goal. A back four of Bree, Howard, Bellis, Stevens and Manning. Midfield two of Downs and Bragg, with an attacking trio of Cienza, Matsuki and Dobbin behind Kyle Larin, who leads the line. Kick-off fast approaching.
And we will leave that just there, because we're about to get underway at Vicarage Road for this first of the double-header in the Championship on this Sunday. It is Watford hosting Southampton in this one. Southampton in a jazzy blue and pink away strip, and Watford in their usual home colours. Vicarage Road ready, the sun is beaming down, and fingers crossed this should be a good game, and maybe they take a bit of inspiration for all the drama and action yesterday in the EFL. And it's great to have football back. It is myself, Kieran Graham, alongside Simon Ballow to bring you coverage of this one. And Simon, like we said, fingers crossed we get an exciting game of football. We're underway.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think we saw some good games in the Championship yesterday. Clearly teams aren't quite fully up to speed in terms of the recruitment. A lot of these clubs will be looking to bring in players from the Premier League, sort of young players from the Premier League that don't quite make the final cut for their 25-man squads. We won't know that maybe till the end of this month. But I think what we'll see is a decent brand of football, pacey, and I think we'll probably see Watford trying to force the game in the early stages to try and build some early momentum.
Yeah, we instantly see a bit of a scrappy start. Challengers flying in from these two sides. Another challenge going in. The referees let everything flow. And there's a ping ball to the right-hand side, and not a great first touch from Nabi Zada. The Afghanistan forward on the right-hand side came through the academy, the youngster, and he's been awarded with a start today. He couldn't keep that one in play, but some heavy challenges going in early doors in this one, which is perfect for us, and set the tempo and set the intensity at the start of this game. Here's Howard Bellis in possession. He's been subject to interest over the last 24 hours from Benfica, which would be some move for him to go over to Portugal, play European football with Marco Silva in charge, but he does start today, which maybe tells you that those talks aren't as advanced as maybe made out, and he picks up possession again. We know Southampton's style under Tondereka. They love to have the ball, they love to create multiple chances, and they will look after it where they can. Ball on the right hand side with James Bree. He looks ahead of himself to find Cienza. Now it's going to go back towards Howard Bellis, and just a more composed opening 2 minutes from Southampton. Ball to the left, finds Ryan Manning. Good first touch down the line, looking for Dobbin, but he finds Kyle Larin instead in the penalty area. Dobbin picks it up now on the left-hand side, looks for a cutback, takes the deflection. Can it be kept in play? Yes, it can. Good goalkeeping from Ravalia, but a decent opening couple of minutes for the Saints.
Yeah, Southampton just settling down. Don't really see too much different from their team here today, really, from the one that finished last season, obviously failing in a by a technicality in the playoffs. They finished fourth in the Championship last season. I expect something similar. They could maybe potentially push for an automatic place this season if they make a better start. And I think they've got the right guy in place in Tondereka, but they've made a decent start to this game as well. And, it's not going to be an easy match away for them at Watford side, who have got to do better than their, 14th or maybe 16th place finish last season.
Yeah, Watford finishing 16th last season on 57 points. Probably the definition of a bog standard underwhelming season for Watford, wasn't it? They're losing one of their, or they've already lost one of their key players in Iran Kunda this summer, so he's moved on towards Sporting Lisbon. Was a special talent. That was always going to happen, in my opinion. He's got some unbelievable goals, was so vital to the way Watford were last season, and of course no Imran loser in the starting lineup today, and he's another one so key to the way that Watford go about things. Ball on the left hand side in the hands of Cienza. Once again, Watford just haven't been able to get going so far in front of their home crowd. Like I mentioned, Watford finishing 16th last season, but Southampton, of course, having the drama of the playoffs, which was probably the most chaotic playoff story we've ever seen.
Yeah, it was a real can of worms, wasn't it? And Southampton in the end came out on the wrong side of it. The owner has backed Tonda Eckert though, and you hope they can sort of just put that behind them now. But imagine every single week they get reminded of it by the away fans. Today it'll be the home fans who I'm sure making their feelings known about what Southampton did.
Yeah, exactly that. Southampton probably the only side to ever have seen their side win over 2 legs in the playoffs and not go to Wembley, as we saw Middlesbrough get given that place instead. We see the ball go over the top. It's intercepted. Dobbin loses out, and it's on the right hand side with Traore, who's bombing forward. He leaves it for Nabizada. Nabizada in possession. He's bundled over by Flynn Downs. No free kick again by the officials. And Nabizada then trying to apply the pressure, bundles over himself, and there is no free kick given again. The referee letting things flow at the moment.
Yeah, it certainly is. You'd expect a few sort of early challenges. I thought the games I saw of the Championship yesterday was pretty similar. The referees letting the game flow, not trying to stop it at every single occasion, just for a bit of shoulder-to-shoulder contact, or just a bit of jostling there. So it's good to see a bit of consistency. We'll just hope that continues.
As you see, Boa goes across towards the left-hand side. Now it's going to be with Kevin. Well, I can run you through the lineups for these two sides. For Watford, they have Gravalia in goal. The back four of Traore, Pollock, Kevin and Bola. Midfield 2 of Bova and Cipriani, with wingers of Mama and Nabizada, and Bravo and Dumbia leading the line. Bravo seems to just be sat a little bit behind Dumbia for the time being. Sharp turn from Mount, but it goes out of play for a throw. Whereas for the Saints, they have Peretz in goal. Made that deal permanent after his successful loan move last season. Back four of Bree, Howard, Bellis, Stevens and Manning. Midfield 2 of Downs and Bragg. And then an attacking trio of Cienza, Matsuki and Dobbin, all sat just behind Kyle Larin, who's another one made his loan permanent this summer after impressing at St Mary's Stadium. And Larin with a lovely flick on towards Cienza, and this is lovely build up from Southampton. Cienza in behind for Dobbin, who's in on goal, plays it across the face of goal for Larin, and it trickles all the way across. He's claiming he was fouled. There's an offside flag that's gone up in the end anyway, maybe against Dobbin. But what a chance that could have been for the visitors. Yeah,
they were carved out, Watford, and just need a little bit more accuracy with the timing. I guess it was the timing of the runs, wasn't it? Not necessarily the accuracy of the ball. Larin sets it up and then he hairs into the penalty to get on the end of this chance. And Dobbin is just slightly offside as that ball's played to him by Cienza. And then what happened after that, which was a pretty poor miss from Larin, wouldn't have mattered anyway.
Yeah, I think that's poor from Dobbin as well, to find himself offside in that position. I think Kevin did just enough to put Larin off. He maybe even fouled him, sliding from the back of the Canadian, but it doesn't matter anyway, because there was a correct offside given in the build-up. As we now see Pollock in possession, he goes across towards Kevin, but an early wake-up call for Watford, who've not got going in this opening 7 minutes. They're coming off the back of a 1-0 victory in the AFL Cup last week against Crawley, and that goal came in the 99th minute, so they left it late in that one as well, whereas Southampton also progressed from the first round with a clean sheet. They beat Colchester 2-0 in that one. Larin and Akachukwu with the goal. That is a terrible tackle from Cipriani, who's going to get booked already. 7 minutes in, and he's already booked, and I think that tells you the story of Cienza and how influential he's going to be, because he's running the show. Yeah, he's just moving across midfield there from left to right, trying to set something up, and Cipriano's dived in, caught him. Well, it's basically Cipriano's knee against Cienza's shin, and right in front of the referee. You can have no complaints about that being a yellow card, and really, you could even say it's probably a bit worse than a yellow card for Hector Cipriani. Yeah, the former Peterborough man flying into that challenge. I mean, it's not really a challenge he has to make at this stage of the game, and as expected, Cienza is still down. So dangerous, such a reckless challenge put in from him. And unfortunately, fingers crossed, I guess for our entertainment levels as well, that Cienza's okay to continue, because he really is the bright spark in this Southampton side.
Yeah, he was so important for them last season, and he's still lying on his back on the pitch. I think that's quite cynical, isn't it, from Cipriano? He's targeted the best player. He targeted a danger man there with a really cynical challenge inside the first.
It's almost like he's
10
wanted
minutes
to let him know.
I think he thinks he's got a free one. I think it's so early on in the game. He's come from a lower division as well, which may be the way that those games are refereed. He does get a free one inside the first 10 minutes, where you can almost lay down a bit of a marker against another player, and he's trying to do that here, and the referee has rightly carded him. Vinnie Jones watching the game, former Watford player. I think he lives locally still. Watching the match at Vicarage Road today. He would have been proud of that challenge, wouldn't he? Cipriano's challenge Vinnie Jones, ex-Leeds as well.
Yeah, he would have been. That's a challenge that, I mean, not from my time, Vinnie Jones, but I've seen more than enough clips that, he'd have been loving that. He probably stood up and applauded the challenge from Cipriano. Cienza's only just got back to his feet. Instantly, he's holding his shoulder more than anything, so I think it was the landing more than the actual contact of the challenge. He's now just stretching out his shoulder, and that's always one that you've got to be careful with. And he looks in some discomfort as he's walking off. He's even like slouching over. Is the Brazilian? Fingers crossed he's okay to continue. The former Heidenheim man, I remember covering Chelsea against Heidenheim in the UEFA Conference League a couple of years ago, and he played in that. He caught alright in that one as well. He had a great season last season, been linked with a couple Premier League sides in the summer, but nothing too serious, as we now see finally plays back underway in the 10th minute. Ball on the right hand side, whipped into the penalty area, headed away, and only as far as a Watford forward, who loses out once again. James Bree wins it back. He finds Ryan Manning, who stayed all the way on the right hand side after taking that free kick. Ball to the left for Lewis Dobbin. He picks it up now, the number 11. Goes all the way back once again for the left-hand side. Ryan Manning scoops it down the line, looking towards Dobbin, and it's well recovered by Traore. Some signing, clears it out of play for a throw-in. And a good start for Southampton. Not creating too many chances as of yet, but as we know they like to do, just having the ball, working Watford around. And I mean, Cienza, quite clearly, is still in some discomfort. Yeah,
interesting that on the pre-match TV caption, they had Dobbin playing down the middle and Cienza on the left, but it's definitely the other way around from this opening 10 minutes, with Dobbin pulling more to the left and Cienza roaming in the central role.
Yeah, you can see it on the right-hand side for Watford. It's Traore. He's going to scoop it long, looking towards Dumbia, who tries to hold it up, but it's good defending from Howard Bellis. That's not a great ball though from Bragg, and it falls into the middle for Bravo. First chance for Watford, and that's a lovely touch, and he's in on goal, and Bravo goes for goal! And what a finish that is! And what a move from Ika Bravo, all on his own, aided with a terrible pass from Southampton in the build-up. We'll wait for confirmation of who it 100% was, but the touches from the former Leverkusen and Real Madrid man, well, when I say those two clubs and you see the way that he's gone about that, you can understand why. What a finish, what a move from Bravo, and it's 1-0 Watford.
Yeah, it's Jack Stevens who makes the error. It's a no-look volleyed pass. He's trying to get it back to his goalkeeper, and it's just not got enough on it. It's actually, I'm not even sure if it's intended for the goalkeeper, because it's so sort of casual. You know, he's challenging for the ball. Well, his teammates challenging for the ball, and then he just volleys a pass into space. Bravo spots the danger. A couple of decent touches, and then he just waltzes past Harwood Bellis with a final little jink, and then finishes very neatly beyond Peretz. And it's a really high-quality finish, that. There's a lot of work to do when he brings that ball down, but he's just so smart with what he does. The ball never leaves his toe, really. It's really good quality close control. And then he's got that sort of chop at the end, and then the finish to just get it past Peretz. Quality goal for Watford.
Yeah, it's the dribbling that makes it for me, Si. I mean, the second touch, he takes the first touch where he plucks it out of the air, and the second touch just takes it on his stride with almost the outside of his knee, and it doesn't bobble away from him. It's a perfect touch, and then he just takes his man on with ease. And like I said, formerly the likes of Leverkusen and Real Madrid, he's obviously learned from some good players, that is for sure, as Pollock goes into a challenge. Free kick there, and they're absolutely raging with the challenge on Cienza. They're saying he's followed through really high, the centre half. Well, he's in the wars, is Cienza. He definitely won the ball, did Pollock, in my opinion. They're fuming in the Southampton players. They're surrounding the referee for the follow-through, and we'll await on the punishment of the Watford skipper here, who do already have a card, and he's going to be a yellow card is the punishment. 2 cards already for Watford. They've got to be careful. They're targeting the Brazilian.
They clearly are. I don't think this is that bad a challenge, to be honest. Cienza makes a bit of a meal of it. He
catches him before the ball, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, yeah. So, on first glance, it actually probably looked like a mistimed one. I mean, it is mistimed. It's mistimed more than targeting, I think, there. But Cienza goes sort of head over heels, and the Southampton players then quickly surrounding the referee. It probably is worth a yellow card in retrospect. And now I see Kyle Larin's been booked as well for carrying on his complaints too much.
Yeah, and the referee's got to be careful that this doesn't get a little bit out of hand with the cards, because 3 yellow cards in 30 minutes. I mean, Kyle Larin, he's complaining he's been booked. I mean, he has just sprinted into the referee's face, waving in an imaginary card. The rules are very obvious, and so how can he be shocked?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess, as a striker, he's not going to pick up that many yellow cards this season. Certainly, Matty Pollock probably will as a centre-back.
As we wait for this free kick to be taken now. Southampton, despite being the better side so far, are looking to get back into it. Ball whipped in, ricochets towards the edge of the box. Decent first touch from Dobbin, but allowed Nabizada to step in, and a clearance all the way back to where the free kick just came from, towards Ryan Manning. He opens it up, swoops it in towards the penalty area, easily headed away by Berver, and Dumbia brings it down. And can he look to the left hand side? Good challenge in from Bragg. Had to stop the counter attack, and for Watford, they've not really got going yet, and they've got the lead, which is perfect for them. And their manager, Dionisi, the Italian, has only ever really managed in Italy, recently for the likes of Palermo and Empoli. And as we now see Kevin in possession. The main man for Watford on the eye for me today, someone I'm excited to see after last season, is Mama, who had his injury problems, but he's such a bright spark out in the wide areas. And there's 3 Southampton players left down in a heap. I mean, Watford are not taking this light in this opening 15 minutes, are they? The challenges are flying in.
Yeah, absolutely. It's it's like they've come out, I don't know, like they've just been fed on raw meat all week or something like that. I mean, there's 1 or 2 players in this Watford side who are, you'd want on your side in a street fight, wouldn't you? And I think Matty Pollock is one of them. But some of the Southampton players are going down a little bit sort of theatrically and maybe trying to milk the situation as well. But it's going to be interesting. Southampton need to stand up to this. They can't just expect the referee to protect them all through the game. Maybe Watford will get a man sent off and take it too far, but I think Southampton do need to stand up to the physical nature of the game a bit better at the moment.
Yes, you now see Manning with the ball in hand, finds Kyle Larin. That's a great turn from him, and he drives into space with not too much help, but he pings one to the right hand side for Matsuki, and it's a great first touch. He's been wiped out. Larin's still going, and it's a good challenge in. Well, that should have been a free kick on the edge of the penalty area, and one that I don't think they've got, and it was Cipriano who's made the challenge. And Watford do just have to be careful a little bit in this one. It was a great first touch, and Matsuki, Cipriano just sprints into him, just completely clatters into him. Yes, the ball had moved away from Matsuki, but it was still a bit of a reckless one as the pressure's there from Dumbia. They give the ball away to Southampton. Nabizada takes way too long in possession. Strong challenge in from, I believe it was Cipriano again. This time it's going to trickle all the way out for a goal kick. A goal kick that goes the way of Watford. But yeah, plenty of talking points, and the cameras linger on the Cypriot midfielder. And I think that's probably everybody saying he needs to be careful.
Yeah, I don't think it was a booking, and I'm not 100% certain it was a foul. I think they were both sort of leaning down, both sort of bending down to try and head the ball, and it was just a collision. The ball wasn't necessarily under the control of Matsuki, so maybe why the referee didn't penalise Cipriano. Here come Watford on the attack again, and now they've got a free kick.
Yeah, and it's a free kick that goes the way of Watford this time. James Bree just standing across his man and taking him out. And I guess that's been given for the fact he wasn't really looking at the ball too much. Man is still down holding his head, and it's been very stop-start. I don't envy the referee for the start of this one, because he's had a lot of talking with players. He's probably had a talk with every... And this is the problem that we're at in this stage of the game, because he's given so many cards early on. I mean, that is not a yellow card for me, and he's given a card to James Bree.
Yeah, Mama is beating him there, and then there's an arm across him. The question is the arm in the neck? Is the arm in the chest? I don't think it goes any higher up than just putting it across his waist or his chest, really. So for me, that's not a yellow card. It's definitely a free kick, but maybe a bit harsh on James Bree. definitely Southampton have got to stand up here and be counted, because Watford are. They turn the game into what they want. Watford want a bitty game, they want a physical game. Southampton want to play the football. It's Watford getting what they want at the moment.
Yeah, exactly that. As you see this free kick whipped in towards the back post. Decent delivery, forced to the edge of the box. Dumbia plays all the way back for Berver, who goes for goal. The former Roma midfielder, but he slices it way wide in the end. And that is the problem when you brandish so many early cards. You see the referees, they just keep doing it for such simple fouls. I covered Chelsea Arsenal last season. I think we saw about 12 yellow cards, and it's simply for the fact he gave about 4 in the first 10 minutes, and most of them shouldn't have even been yellow cards. The referee is in danger of allowing that to happen in this one. But we now see Bola to his goalkeeper Ravalia, who finds Pollock. He's got options ahead in Berver, finds the Italian, goes towards Kevin plays it long on the left hand side. Header well won by Jamesbury, ricochets into the middle, and that's great touches from Mama. The number 7 drives forward, plays it to the right. It's a poor ball. He gets the second chance, and the second chance he does much better. He finds Nabizada on the right hand side. Ball whipped in. It's a decent ball as well. There's a lazy leg thrown at it, and Bowler from distance. Well, the confidence is there for him after he scored last week in the cup, but this one goes miles higher wide.
Yeah, nice play from Watford again, stretching Southampton's defence. Second time ball from Mama, got it out to the right hand side to Nabizada, and his cross was well delivered actually. It was headed clear by Southampton, then Bowler just had a lash at it from about 30 yards, and they really just don't go in unless you're having one of your days. But Southampton still look unsettled, and Watford going with a full press here, trying to catch them out once more. Yeah,
trying to catch them out, forcing Southampton to go long, which is not what Tondereka will want from his side. He'll be really disappointed with this opening 20 minutes or so. We've seen another free kick. This time it goes the way of Watford again. Won by Mama on the left-hand side, given away by Matsuki. And you can see the quality of Mama. Like I mentioned, he's so confident in possession. Just wants to drive at his man every time.
Yeah, I think there's a few people been waiting for him to get his, sort of breakthrough at Watford or maybe another club. There was obviously probably quite a lot of interest, but they've held on to him. I mean, how Watford got hold of him in the first place, you've got to be thinking they've got some talent spotters there, because he's been an absolute star for Morocco's junior teams for a few years now.
Yeah, and ball whipped in it, ricochets in the penalty area, a bit of a scramble. They've not dealt with it yet of Southampton. Cipriano steps in not once but twice, and then Bova wins it back. He hangs it towards the back post where Kevin tries to keep it in play, and he does so, and it's a great backwards header. They're in the area. Mama goes for goal. Good save at his near post by Perez. Had to stay switched on. He opened it up where you'd always think they'd try bend it towards the far corner, and this time he goes for the near post, and it's a good save. It goes behind for a corner, but Southampton just a bit of a mess at the back.
Yeah, they're in a real sort of just a ragged state at the moment, and the Moroccan gets the ball again, tries his look at the near post, and Perez equal to it, pushes it, kicks it behind for a corner.
So we're going to see his corner ready to be whipped in. It's going to be an in-swinging delivery from the number 7, Mama, as he whips it in. The referee has said there must be a retake. He's having a word with players in there again, and these two sides don't like each other at the moment. I'm getting that vibe from these sets of players. The challengers flying in every 2 minutes. We're talking about a situation that the referee is having to deal with.
Absolutely. There's a player down as well at the moment for Watford, and this looks like it could be bad news for their fullback, Bowler, who's gone down holding his leg. And so he looks like he might have to go off with an injury. In fact, Watford have already got a sub being readied here to come on by, I think it's Adrian Mariappa, who's their first team coach, who's just telling him what he needs to do.
Yeah, it's going to be Jaden Zamora, called upon, brought in from Udinese, broke through at Bournemouth when they were in the Championship and got promoted. A great left back, or he was when his last spell in England, and then of course when you make that move to Udinese as such, people lose track of the progress of him, but he's back in England and he's going to get an early appearance here, and 22.5 minutes on the clock. With this change coming up, we've reached the halfway stage of this first half. It's Watford 1, Southampton 0, thanks to a great goal from Iker Bravo. This change is being made. Bowler looks in quite some distress, seems quite emotional as he makes his way off the pitch. He's not been short of talking points so far, and fingers crossed that continues, and it will be decided to take through to half time.
Yeah, cheers, Kieran. It's been pretty breathless first 22 and a half minutes because of the approach that Watford have brought to the game. Mark Bowler still almost in tears as he's taken from the field. Jordan Zamora ready to replace him. But Watford's approach, turning this game into a real physical contest, has unsettled Southampton, and they're yet to find an answer. They threatened a little bit in the early stages with one chance. Anyway, short corner taken by Mamar. Across from Zamora is deflected behind for another Hornets corner. So Zamora straight into the game there with the first cross from the short corner, but couldn't get it past the defender, who's out quickly to him. A look to set up the same again here, Watford, with players around the 6-yard box and one stood right on the keeper. It's swung in again by Mamar to the back post, and Marma to the back post, and it's punched clear by Peretz, who comes off his line and punches again after it was headed back into the 6-yard box, then pumped back in there by Traore, or maybe it was Kebben, and it was a poor one anyway. It goes straight behind for a goal kick. But I think Tom de Ecker needs to change something here, because his team have really been unable to get out. This Watford press has unsettled them. They're giving the ball away, virtually on the halfway line or inside their own half, and I think they start going long from these goal kicks, right?
Yeah, it feels like they're just lacking a little bit in midfield for me as well. That double pivot almost, as you will, of Downs and Bragg. I don't think either of them are good enough to just get on the ball and carry them forwards. Anytime Southampton have something good going, it's this man Cienza that's causing it. And as I say that, curse of the commentator, terrible ball down the line, but they get away with it and they win a throw.
Yeah, they were able to get out that time by taking a short goal kick, and Cienza just wasn't able to quite get the weight of that pass right, but they've won the throw-in. They've gone back from that throw-in, now into their own half, with Stevens, whose mistake led to the Bravo goal. Then it's launched forward by Harwood Bellis out towards Matsuki's wing. He's up against Zamora now, and he holds it up down the right-hand side. Down the... it is the right-hand side. And he plays it back to Harwood Bellis. So Southampton establishing possession inside the Watford half now. Watford retreating into their out-of-shape 4-5-1 formation as Saints just pass it across midfield again. And they have got two footballing centre-backs in the form of Stevens and Howard Bellis, but you mentioned that double pivot, and they are a little bit sort of workmanlike, aren't they? Bragg and Downs may need a bit more sort of creativity in there as goes out towards Dobbin. Dobbin wriggles free now of his marker and tries to play a 1-2 with Larin. He gets it back, the ball from Larin, just not quite strong enough though, and it's Mamar who gets back, and Marma. Is it Marma? I might pronounce it wrong. He clears it out for a throw-in anyway. I think it is Marma, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I'd be saying Marma anyway.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Anyway, here come Southampton down the right with Matsuki again. Ball into the penalty area is cut out by Pollock. Boots it clear. It's cushion header down towards the fullback Manning. Then a loose ball in midfield by Bragg, almost giving Watford a chance there. They head it clear again. The ball's not quite settling down for them as it's volleyed away by the Saints defence. Back towards Kebben, who lets it bounce. That was a bad decision, and he then gets himself in a tangle with Larin, who wants a penalty, but he's never going to get that. Yeah,
I believe he's offside. I think the referee's made that. Yes, he has. He's offside. What on earth is Kebben doing? I mean, rule one, you teach all ages, don't you, if you're at the back? Do not let that ball bounce from a looping ball in. And it's a really good spot, actually, from the referee, because the ball's bounced, it's so easy to maybe lose a bit of concentration there, but he is offside. It's a good spot, like I said, and they get away with one.
Could be a chance on the counter-attack here for Watford, but in the end, ball's cut back across by the goal scorer Bravo and blocked, and then he tries to stop it from going out for a what would have been his own corner, and I think he might have just avoided giving away a goal kick there. It looks like it will be a corner to Watford, but just countering there quite usefully Watford through Doumbia, and we see now shots of the Watford owner Gino Pozzo in the crowd. I wonder how close he's sat to Vinnie Jones as ball's clear. In fact, it was a goal kick in the end, was it? It's cleared out for a throw. But 27 minutes gone. It's 1-0 to the home side. Slightly against the run of play, but Southampton haven't been able to get their usual passing style going in this game. Manning takes a throw in, launches it down the line, headed away by Cipriano, who's on that early yellow card. It goes out for another throw to the Saints. They've had a good pre-season. won a lot of their matches, but haven't played the highest standard of opponent. As Manning takes a throw in, drops it into Larin, who comes short, holding off Cipriano. Threads a nice ball through there though to Bree, and the fullback now tries to spring forward with Matsuki outside him on the right hand side. Matsuki coming in on his left foot, looking for a crossing opportunity. Bree staying wide. He goes back to the fullback and now back into midfield. Here's Manning, the opposite fullback, gives it away though to Nabizada, who counters here for Watford. He's got loads of green grass to run into. He's still going strong here, Nabizada, into the penalty area. He could take a shot. There's nobody coming to tackle him, and he puts it in the corner. Nabizada from inside his own half makes it 2-0 to Watford, but Southampton's defending was atrocious.
Yeah, terrible at the back. And I'm just thinking, every time Nabizada is getting closer, I'm thinking, you're going wider. You're going wider. He had so much space in front of him. But it shows what I know, because it is perfect from it. He ends up taking the shot on from such a tight angle, but it's a great finish across the face of goal. And Southampton are an absolute mess at the back. A point I was going to make when we touched on the two midfielders, the double pivot, and how it's not working for Southampton, is the fact there's no real pace behind them either. It's a real slow defensive midfield for Southampton. That's getting caught out so much in this opening 30 minutes. He picks it up deep in his own half. He's driving. He looks up so many times. Dumbia's movement's not the best, but it takes the space away. It's a great finish. I mean, Perez maybe could make himself bigger at his near post to just stop it from going across. But Nabizada, I think he's always wanting to pass. That's why he's going wider and wider, and he just sees that little gap at the final moment. He takes a look, and his final touch is heavy, which means he has to go for goal, because his final touch actually before the shot isn't great. But what a finish it is. And Watford are 2-0 up, and he is loving life. The young Afghanistan forward through the academy. What a moment for him.
Yeah, looks like there's a bit of an inquest going on among the Southampton players after that goal from Watford. I mean, both goals have been giveaways, haven't they, in certain regards. You know, both have been from slack passes, but whereas the Stevens back pass, you know, was seized upon by Bravo, who's 25 yards out. This one, he seized upon it 70 yards out and run the length of the pitch, and you really got to have an inquest after that.
Yeah, he'll be ready for half-time just to sit down after that sprint, because he'll be tired, won't he? Nabizada and Tondereka, I mean, the cameras have just panned on him. He's got a face of thunder, hasn't he? He's not happy. Already probably the eyes on him a little bit more than you'd want on a manager, just simply for the fact of the drama last season. Had a 63% win ratio since taking over Southampton. And Southampton, I know pre-season's not much to go off, unbeaten in pre-season, so it's been a good camp for them. Went to Germany, but I mean, the match stats tell you everything you need to know. 0 shots for Southampton in this one to Watford 7.
Yeah, it's Watford fully in charge of this game now. 2 goals to the good, and attacking again through Marmot out on that left-hand side. Comes in his right foot, drifts across in towards the back post, and it's just a little bit overhit there with Nabizada coming in, looking for the inside sort of position on the full-back, and couldn't quite get the header in as it goes over his head and away for a goal kick.
Yeah, it looks a fun front forward, doesn't it, for Watford? It seems very free-flowing. It seems like they're all just enjoying themselves. I'm liking Ika Bravo's role so far, because he's a natural striker, always has been throughout his early career so far, but he seems to be he's been told, move wherever you think the pockets of space around Dumbia. Don't just stand up front with him, kind of move around with him, and it's causing Southampton a lot of problems, because he's picking up those spaces that have been left behind Bragg and Flynn Downs. They're just not adapting to it so far, Southampton.
Ball's out on the far side for a throw in to the Saints, and Tondereka, he said face like thunder. I mean, he's always got that sort of very expression, his eyes, as far as sort of tell you the story there, and he's not happy at all with what he's seeing as Southampton lose the ball. And now Keben tries to clear, and he gets caught there in a challenge from Matsuki. Has to go into another tackle, wins it well though, strong tackle on the ground, releases Cipriano, then it's deflected off Downs and out for a throw in to Watford. Home fans enjoying this, aren't they? In their bright yellow replica shirts on the far side in the sun. Oh, and Tondereka's face is absolutely...
He's getting angrier as the seconds go on.
Watford play the ball back and then start taking the mickey out of Southampton with a little aerial lofted pass there from Ravaglia. Ball's cleared by Keben up the line towards Doumbia, who tries to bring it down on his chest, does really well, tight area, wriggles away from the marker, plays it out towards the right hand side. Nabizada takes it well, he's got an overlap there outside it from Troyov, he wants to use it, and he does. Good play from Watford again. It's time for Traore to put a cross in towards Doumbia, and it's headed down and away by Howard Bellis. Zamora sends it wide to Marma. Marma on his right foot wants the shot, and he drives an effort that was blocked at source by Matsuki, but had plenty of power behind it. But they're playing with real freedom and expression at the moment, Watford.
They're great to watch in attack, aren't they? And Doumbia, by the way, that was not easy. He didn't just bring it down under a lot of pressure from back two players. He dribbled away with it, turned the corner, and picked the pass to the right-hand side. And it was almost a short pass, but it reached his target. Brilliant forward player. I mean, they are loving life out there.
Yeah, here's Marma again. Danger man, corner of the penalty area. Slides it across to Nabizada. Back now to Cipriano. Cross about to come in from Zamora. Overhit again, looking for Nabizada, who drifted away to the back post. And it's going to be once more a goal kick. But the Watford fans on their feet behind the goal, applauding what they're seeing, which is, I guess, a lot better than what they were served up last season.
Yeah, a lot better. And like we said, they're missing a couple of key players.
Imran Loser
moved on. Imran Loser, of course, is in the stands today. I'm not sure if that's injury related or potentially transfer speculation related, because he has been linked with all sorts of moves. He's such a tidy player, isn't he? But I'll tell you what, it's opening 34 minutes. They've not missed him.
No, they haven't. He's probably thinking, how am I going to get back into the team, as Nabizada gets it again on the right-hand side. What a pick he's been today.
He gets back in if Cipriano gets sent off.
Yeah, here is Cipriano in midfield now, trying to link up with Bravo. Bravo's got it at his feet, goes for goal with a strike that's blocked by Howard Bellis. Comes back to Dobbin, who tries to link up with Cienza, and that's a nice ball back to Dobbin, but he's got men around him. He goes past the first, he tries to take on a second for pace. Traore's got good recovery pace though, and knocks it out for a throw in inside his own half. 10 minutes to half time, Watford lead 2-0. All smiles on faces at Vicarage Road, and I think, they were a yo-yo team a few years ago, but I think many people now saying Watford have gone from being a yo-yo team now to just being a sort of a standard championship side who you wouldn't really put in your list of promotion contenders at the start of the season. Outside promotion contenders maybe, but from what we're seeing here is that they've got a chance this season.
More than good enough. This set of players, I mean, even on paper, you look at it and think it's a good squad, it's a promising squad. Maybe it lack a bit of experience in attack. There's still a lot of time left of the transfer window, and the attack's been the best thing so far of this game for Watford.
Hey, we're not seeing the defence fully tested yet, have we? Because Southampton have been so underwhelming as they try and switch out to the left-hand side now for Manning. His volley pass finds Dobbin, edge of the penalty area, onto his right foot. Then he tries to play it out to the right, which is the wrong pass. It goes beyond Matsuki, but it'll be kept in by Bree. First time cross from him. Oh, it's punched away by Ravaglia. Not a good punch. Now Cienza's got a chance, and he fluffs his lines with an awful finish that actually doesn't even go out for a throw-in. It's kept in, as now Watford have a chance to clear, and Zamora puts his foot through it into the stands. But Ravaglia didn't cover himself in glory with that punch there.
No, it's his first bit of action today, isn't it? The goalkeeper, of course, Daniel Batman, a very experienced goalkeeper on the bench today in that sense. But yeah, we're just seeing that from Ravaglia. Wasn't the best from him as he approached that one. He wasn't really under too much pressure either, was he? Under the cross, Kyle Larry wasn't necessarily on him, forcing the mark, and yeah, it's not great. He's got away with one for the fact that Cienza, his return strike was so poor.
Yeah, he's got the number 1 shirt, Federico Ravaglia, very experienced keeper, 6'6" as well, so he's got the height to really dominate the penalty area. We see a free kick now awarded for a foul by Southampton player on the far side. But yeah, there'll be some nerves, of course, making his Watford debut in the league. Obviously, he played, I'm assuming he played in the Carabao Cup win over Crawley. I'll check that out now. But yeah, it's not been a busy start for Ravaglia, but that first punch, yeah, he did start against Crawley. Wasn't particularly convincing. The Hornets have the ball again. They've played that free kick short, and they've kept it moving. Now they find Marma out on the left-hand side. Little ball into Bravo, who just knits things together, finds those pockets of space, as you were saying. Cipriano knocks it back to Keben. And now Zamora looks for a ball down the channel. Bravo had made the run, but it was well matched by a strong header away by Howard Bellis. Now Bragg. Risky ball into Cienza's feet. Cienza's back pass was maybe a little bit short there, but Stevens turns it into a good pass and then gets it out towards Manning. Nabizada's all over him like a cheap suit, though, and they're putting real pressure on with this press. And Southampton struggling to get out. Now Downs, oh, he's lost it. And then Bove plays it forward. It might reach Bravo, but then Cienza gets his foot on it and brings Southampton clear. Downs. Sideways ball out to the right-hand side. And now Harwood Bellis just starting to get some kind of rhythm together now. Southampton. Cienza central, but quite deep. Knocks it back to Harwood Bellis. They need something back, I think, before half-time, don't they? If it's not a goal, they need to at least put some pressure on Watford, have a good solid finish to the half. There's about 7 or so minutes left plus stoppage time, and they trail 2-0. Kyle Larin's hanging up front. He's not coming short to try and get involved in the game at the moment. As Howard Bellis knocks it sideways again to Manning. Manning out to Dobbin. It's been fairly bright, Dobbin, so far, but hasn't really been able to have a sighted goal. As now Matsuki gets away from Zamora. Still going, Matsuki. Finds Bree. Bree back to Matsuki, edge of the penalty area. Glides into the penalty area, but then runs into trouble. And the ball's cleared by Cipriano. Watford on the counter-attack now with Marmer. Sideways to Zamora. And then all the way back into defence for Keben. And do you think Tom Derecker needs to make a change at half-time?
Yeah, he absolutely has to. I tell you what, I was just looking at Southampton's bench. There's some serious quality on there at this level. The likes of Finn Azaz, Cameron Archer, Brereton Diaz, Tom Fellows, the new signing Divin Mabama, youngster on loan from Manchester City. I mean, they are all players that, I tell you what, probably start for most Championship sides. So I'd be so shocked if he doesn't add a little bit of life. Finn Azaz is the one that really stands out to me. I mean, he's got a lot of quality at this level. Did for Middlesbrough, did last season for Southampton. And then just need a bit of control centrally. And that's what he would give them.
Well, Southampton have the ball again, deep in their own half, and it's Downs who plays it back to Stevens. Jack Stevens jogs forward, looks for an option. Has it with Downs again. Out to the left for Manning. He goes backwards. Watford's mid-block is effective at the moment. They were pressing high and causing problems earlier in the half. They've just retreated a little bit now as we edge towards half-time. Here's Bragg in midfield. Square ball to Downs. He knocks it wide to Manning again. It's careful, but it's slow build-up from Southampton at the moment. Bragg again on the half-turn, linking up with Dobbin. Back to Manning. Manning down the line. It's a good run from Cienza, who ghosts in behind Pollock. Cienza's ball back into the penalty area, finds Bragg. Shooting opportunity, strikes it well. It's blocked by the defender in front of him, and the ball cannons away towards Zamora, who flicks it clear. But that was better from Southampton, and Cienza was at the heart of the move.
Yeah, no shock there. And Bragg went for goal. If only he got that shout behind him. There's a lot of space on the left, but he was already opening his body up. He was already moving towards the right-hand side with the actual body movement, but two players made a great run on the left-hand side of him, but of course wasn't to know. But that should give them a little bit more confidence to try and end the half the better of the two sides.
Ball floated across to the left-hand side again, but intercepted by Troyori. He heads it clear, and now Stevens comes across. Stevens, right-footed centre-back, playing on the left today, as it goes back to Bragg. He did find himself, he's not much of a goal scorer, is he, Bragg? He did find himself in a good position there. I just wonder if they had a more sort of attack-minded midfielder there, someone who's got perhaps a bit more finishing prowess, how that might have finished differently for them. As the ball's worked across the central defensive area again. Now it's Matsuki, who's pressured from behind by Zamora. It's now fallen to Doumbia, who's on the break here, with Bravo making a diagonal run in front of him. Doumbia threads it to Marmer, who's got tangled up there with Bree. Keeps the ball, and then he's claiming he was fouled, but the referee doesn't. Now he does give it for the second foul, which was on one of his teammates by Kyle Larin. Yeah,
Kyle Larin already on a yellow card himself as well, so got to be careful. Never really a second yellow card type of challenge, but once again, just causing the problem.
Yeah, Marmer was holding his ankle, and as he was rolling around on the floor, Eduardo Bove was being fouled, and so easy one for the referee to give the second if he hadn't given the first just moments before. 3 minutes to half time. Attacking free kick for Watford inside the Southampton half, and they'll send the likes of Pollock and who else has gone up there? Bravo. Doumbia's in there. Nabizada lurking far post. It's free kicks played in, right footed by Marmot, and cleared away by Southampton. Now there's a break potentially for Dobbin. Dobbin's running hard. Bove gets goal side of him. He wriggles between him and Nabizada, and he's brought down by the latter. That'll be a free kick and possibly a yellow card to Nabizada now. That's 5 or 6 in the first half.
5 yellow cards in this first half, and Nabizada can have no real complaints, as he only really had one thing on his mind, and that was stopping Lewis Dobbin in his tracks, and he brings him down on the counter-attack, and unfortunately for Southampton, this could have been a good counter-attack opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, he's run hard there, but I think Bove had the situation in hand, to be honest. He got goal side of Dobbin. Dobbin was coming in field. Nabizada, he needs to make that foul, but he sprinted back at such a pace he couldn't slow down in time to stop himself from dangling a leg out there. Anyway, free kick to Southampton now. Similar position to where Watford had theirs from a few moments ago, but obviously in the opposite half. And Watford trying to hold a line outside the penalty area as the ball swung in by Manning and heading towards goal, but it's over the bar from Jack Stevens.
Yeah, and he looks over to the linesman to see if he was offside, and I'm not sure if he was, which is even more frustrating for him. He's definitely onside. It's a really good chance. The marking's pretty poor. Pollock and Pervert both lose him, and it sounds like because he's facing away from goal, he can't just glance it on. He gets too much purchase on her.
Interesting Watford's tactic on that set piece, though. They really weren't dropping off there, were they? They were trying to hold that line on the edge of the box, and you can get those badly wrong, can't they? If teams can time their runs, and all it needs is well-timed cross and run, and it's a free header. I mean, it was virtually a free header anyway, just a difficult one as the ball's pumped forward towards Larry now and flicked inside, looking for Matsuki. Pollock gets on the ball, knocks it away, and then it's played round the corner very nicely indeed to find Nabizada coming off his right-hand side. Now it's a 4-on-4, a counter-attack here. Nabizada towards the edge of the penalty area, but coming to pick his pocket there was Flynn Downs, who did really well. After initially being caught out there, the Southampton midfield did get back. But now they've made another mistake and given it away on the edge of the box, and it's Doumbia turning inside the right edge of the penalty and trying a shot. Well, if it was a shot, it was a poor one. It's actually turned into a cross to the back post for Marmot, who's trying his tricks against Bree. Still Marmot has it. 2 defenders around him, and in the end all he can do is knock it off the defender for a Watford corner.
Yeah, that was so frustrating for Nabizada because he had so much space. A little bit similar to his goal. He just took a bit too long, but the goal actually worked because he got the shot off in the end, and he caught out the goalkeeper. 5 minutes of added time, and Marmot's footwork there was causing all sorts of problems for James Bree, and they win a corner.
Yeah, now looks like for the first time the Moroccan's not going to take it. He's going to leave it to Jordan Zamora, so it's going to be a left-footed ball from the left-hand side, away swinging corner. Slightly different tactic here. Nobody on the keeper this time for Watford, but a crowd of bodies around the penalty spot. It's towards Pollock, who heads it towards goal, and he just got underneath it over the bar. Pollock claiming he was pushed, or that there was some kind of infringement there, but I didn't see one.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's claiming for a corner. It looks like it maybe skimmed off the top of the head of Stevens after the header. See it back again. It's actually Howard Bellis. Maybe he's got a point. Maybe it should have been a corner.
Son of Jamie Pollock, of course, Matty Pollock, the Watford captain today. Jamie Pollock, captain Manchester City, and I think Middlesbrough as well for many a year. He was no stranger to a yellow card like his son is today. As we've got 5 minutes of stoppage time to play at the end of the first half. Still Watford will be going into the dressing room much the happier of the two. Throw in to Southampton, which is lobbed into Bragg, knocked forward to Matsuki, goes down under a challenge from Zamora, and the referee's given yet another free kick. The Japanese looks up quizzically at the referee, thinking maybe there was perhaps a bit more punishment there for Zamora, but it wasn't forthcoming. Well, the last free kick was interestingly delivered and defended by Watford. We'll see if they try a similar sort of approach here for a wide free kick with a high line. Yes, they do. It's a good 5 yards outside the penalty area as well, this one. So they're trying to create some room, aren't they, between the defensive line and the goalkeeper. I think it's probably for the goalkeeper's benefit, this, as the cross goes in towards the penalty area. It's headed up in the air, and it's an easy one for Ravagli, just a pinch off the head of Matsuki as he's looking for that second ball. Yeah,
this time he takes it into both hands, and I tell you what, he's balled it out really nicely, and here come Watford straight away on the counter.
Yeah, out to Zamora, who threads it towards Marmot in the penalty area. Marmot trying to get past his man. It's just enough from Bree, or Downs I think it was, to sort of shepherd him out of play there for a goal kick. Yeah,
good strong defending from Flynn Downs. Zamora, he almost baited the fact that he was going to cross it and played it down the line, and Marmot, yes, he's quick enough, but was coming from the wrong angle, and Flynn Downs was always going to be stronger in the physical challenge there, and he does well to watch out for a goal kick.
couple of minutes left in stoppage time as some of the fans in the Graham Taylor stand head off towards the concession stalls and probably the hospitality on that stand as well. As the ball's chested down by Larin now. He's got 3 yellow shirts around him. He tries to get it back to Bragg, but Beauvais is tenacious in the tackle and moves it wide to Marmer out on the left again. Now Bravo goes past him. Beauvais pointing for the ball to go backwards, and it does. It finds Keben, and I think Watford have decided they're going to settle for 2-0 at half time now and just try and run the clock down a little bit here. Game management mode, shall we say.
Yeah, exactly. That's understandable. Watford, what a first half it's been. The first 10 minutes, Southampton with a better side, and that goal just sprung them into life of their own side, Watford. They didn't sit on it, they wanted more, and they could have actually had more. They've had so many attacking opportunities since going 2-0 up as well. That front four has been exciting to watch.
Yeah, both good goals, weren't they? I mean, Bravo's goal still the better of the two in your mind, would you say?
Yeah, the Bravo goal was fantastic just for the actual skill, but I mean the second goal, even then, he carried it 70 yards.
It's a chance for Southampton to have the last say of the half. Dobbin tries a shot from the corner of the box, but it's well blocked by Cipriano, and Saints pick it up again. Last seconds of stoppage time as Downs is battling away there with Bravo. Still has it. Downs threads it down the line. Manning second to it though as a slide challenge comes in from Traore, and it goes out for a throw-in. Well, certainly the easier team talk will be for Alessio Dionisi, the Italian coach, who's obviously got that, shall we say, the volatile, the hot seat at Vicarage Road, but well, it's not so hot at the moment because his side have really played well in this first half, and his tactics have shone through as well. You know, the approach, unsettling Southampton in the early stages, the high press that worked as well. And just his side looking more energetic and more purposeful on the counter-attack as Southampton get a late ball into the penalty area. Now Cienza doesn't let it sit down. It's laid back towards the edge of the box. Matsuki tries a shot, blocked by Watford defenders again. And now there's another opportunity to counter with Bravo leading the charge. He's got Marmer outside him. This could be problems for Southampton. Marmer running up against Howard Bellis into the penalty area. Tries his shot straight at the defender's legs. And the ball comes back to Zamora. Maybe one last attack as the ball's played into the penalty area. Bravo on the turn, tries a shot, and it's going to be cleared up here by Perez. But that is the end of a pretty torrid half for Southampton, who have been put under the pressure, and they have crumbled. At half time it is Watford 2, Southampton 0.
Half-time at Vicarage Road. It is Watford 2, Southampton 0. What a first half for the Hornets. They took the lead in the opening 12 minutes. A big mistake at the back from Jack Stevens, who gifted possession to Ika Bravo, but he still had a lot to do. What a move from him. Lovely dribbling and an even better finish. And then it was 2-0 around the half-hour mark. The young Afghanistan forward, now he's had dribbled 70 yards from his own half and found the finish into the far bottom corner. What a goal. It's 2-0 to Watford. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It is Watford 2, Southampton 0. What a first half for the Hornets. They took the lead in the opening 12 minutes. A big mistake at the back from Jack Stevens, who gifted possession to Ika Bravo, but he still had a lot to do. What a move from him. Lovely dribbling and an even better finish. And then it was 2-0 around the half-hour mark. The young Afghanistan forward, now he's had dribbled 70 yards from his own half and found the finish into the far bottom corner. What a goal. It's 2-0 to Watford. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It is Watford 2, Southampton 0. What a first half for the Hornets. They took the lead in the opening 12 minutes. A big mistake at the back from Jack Stevens, who gifted possession to Ika Bravo, but he still had a lot to do. What a move from him. Lovely dribbling and an even better finish. And then it was 2-0 around the half-hour mark. The young Afghanistan forward, now he's had dribbled 70 yards from his own half and found the finish into the far bottom corner. What a goal. It's 2-0 to Watford. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It is Watford 2, Southampton 0. What a first half for the Hornets. They took the lead in the opening 12 minutes. A big mistake at the back from Jack Stevens, who gifted possession to Ika Bravo, but he still had a lot to do. What a move from him. Lovely dribbling and an even better finish. And then it was 2-0 around the half-hour mark. The young Afghanistan forward, now he's had dribbled 70 yards from his own half and found the finish into the far bottom corner. What a goal. It's 2-0 to Watford.
Half-time at Vicarage Road. It is Watford 2, Southampton 0. What a first half for the Hornets. They took the lead in the opening 12 minutes. A big mistake at the back from Jack Stevens, who gifted possession to Ika Bravo, but he still had a lot to do. What a move from him. Lovely dribbling and an even better finish. And then it was 2-0 around the half-hour mark. The young Afghanistan forward, now he's had dribbled 70 yards from his own half and found the finish into the far bottom corner. What a goal. It's 2-0 to Watford. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It is Watford 2, Southampton 0. What a first half for the Hornets. They took the lead in the opening 12 minutes. A big mistake at the back from Jack Stevens, who gifted possession to Ika Bravo, but he still had a lot to do. What a move from him. Lovely dribbling and an even better finish. And then it was 2-0 around the half-hour mark. The young Afghanistan forward, now he's had dribbled 70 yards from his own half and found the finish into the far bottom corner. What a goal. It's 2-0 to Watford. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It is Watford 2, Southampton 0. What a first half for the Hornets. They took the lead in the opening 12 minutes. A big mistake at the back from Jack Stevens, who gifted possession to Ika Bravo, but he still had a lot to do. What a move from him. Lovely dribbling and an even better finish. And then it was 2-0 around the half-hour mark. The young Afghanistan forward, now he's had dribbled 70 yards from his own half and found the finish into the far bottom corner. What a goal. It's 2-0 to Watford. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It is Watford 2, Southampton 0. What a first half for the Hornets. They took the lead in the opening 12 minutes. A big mistake at the back from Jack Stevens, who gifted possession to Ika Bravo, but he still had a lot to do. What a move from him. Lovely dribbling and an even better finish. And then it was 2-0 around the half-hour mark. The young Afghanistan forward, now he's had dribbled 70 yards from his own half and found the finish into the far bottom corner. What a goal. It's 2-0 to Watford. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It is Watford 2, Southampton 0. What a first half for the Hornets. They took the lead in the opening 12 minutes. A big mistake at the back from Jack Stevens, who gifted possession to Ika Bravo, but he still had a lot to do. What a move from him. Lovely dribbling and an even better finish. And then it was 2-0 around the half-hour mark. The young Afghanistan forward, now he's had dribbled 70 yards from his own half and found the finish into the far bottom corner. What a goal. It's 2-0 to Watford. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It is Watford 2, Southampton 0. What a first half for the Hornets. They took the lead in the opening 12 minutes. A big mistake at the back from Jack Stevens, who gifted possession to Ika Bravo, but he still had a lot to do. What a move from him. Lovely dribbling and an even better finish. And then it was 2-0 around the half-hour mark. The young Afghanistan forward, now he's had dribbled 70 yards from his own half and found the finish into the far bottom corner. What a goal. It's 2-0 to Watford. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It is Watford 2, Southampton 0. What a first half for the Hornets. They took the lead in the opening 12 minutes. A big mistake at the back from Jack Stevens, who gifted possession to Ika Bravo, but he still had a lot to do. What a move from him. Lovely dribbling and an even better finish. And then it was 2-0 around the half-hour mark. The young Afghanistan forward, now he's had dribbled 70 yards from his own half and found the finish into the far bottom corner. What a goal. It's 2-0 to Watford. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It is Watford 2, Southampton 0. What a first half for the Hornets. They took the lead in the opening 12 minutes. A big mistake at the back from Jack Stevens, who gifted possession to Ika Bravo, but he still had a lot to do. What a move from him. Lovely dribbling and an even better finish. And then it was 2-0 around the half-hour mark. The young Afghanistan forward, now he's had dribbled 70 yards from his own half and found the finish into the far bottom corner. What a goal. It's 2-0 to Watford. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It is Watford 2, Southampton 0. What a first half for the Hornets. They took the lead in the opening 12 minutes. A big mistake at the back from Jack Stevens, who gifted possession to Ika Bravo, but he still had a lot to do. What a move from him. Lovely dribbling and an even better finish. And then it was 2-0 around the half-hour mark. The young Afghanistan forward, now he's had dribbled 70 yards from his own half and found the finish into the far bottom corner. What a goal. It's 2-0 to Watford. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It is Watford 2, Southampton 0. What a first half for the Hornets. They took the lead in the opening 12 minutes. A big mistake at the back from Jack Stevens, who gifted possession to Ika Bravo, but he still had a lot to do. What a move from him. Lovely dribbling and an even better finish. And then it was 2-0 around the half-hour mark. The young Afghanistan forward, now he's had dribbled 70 yards from his own half and found the finish into the far bottom corner. What a goal. It's 2-0 to Watford. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It is Watford 2, Southampton 0. What a first half for the Hornets. They took the lead in the opening 12 minutes. A big mistake at the back from Jack Stevens, who gifted possession to Ika Bravo, but he still had a lot to do. What a move from him. Lovely dribbling and an even better finish. And then it was 2-0 around the half-hour mark. The young Afghanistan forward, now he's had dribbled 70 yards from his own half and found the finish into the far bottom corner. What a goal. It's 2-0 to Watford. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It is Watford 2, Southampton 0. What a first half for the Hornets. They took the lead in the opening 12 minutes. A big mistake at the back from Jack Stevens, who gifted possession to Ika Bravo, but he still had a lot to do. What a move from him. Lovely dribbling and an even better finish. And then it was 2-0 around the half-hour mark. The young Afghanistan forward, now he's had dribbled 70 yards from his own half and found the finish into the far bottom corner. What a goal. It's 2-0 to Watford. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It is Watford 2, Southampton 0. What a first half for the Hornets. They took the lead in the opening 12 minutes. A big mistake at the back from Jack Stevens, who gifted possession to Ika Bravo, but he still had a lot to do. What a move from him. Lovely dribbling and an even better finish. And then it was 2-0 around the half-hour mark. The young Afghanistan forward, now he's had dribbled 70 yards from his own half and found the finish into the far bottom corner. What a goal. It's 2-0 to Watford. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It is Watford 2, Southampton 0. What a first half for the Hornets. They took the lead in the opening 12 minutes. A big mistake at the back from Jack Stevens, who gifted possession to Ika Bravo, but he still had a lot to do. What a move from him. Lovely dribbling and an even better finish. And then it was 2-0 around the half-hour mark. The young Afghanistan forward, now he's had dribbled 70 yards from his own half and found the finish into the far bottom corner. What a goal. It's 2-0 to Watford. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It is Watford 2, Southampton 0. What a first half for the Hornets. They took the lead in the opening 12 minutes. A big mistake at the back from Jack Stevens, who gifted possession to Ika Bravo, but he still had a lot to do. What a move from him. Lovely dribbling and an even better finish. And then it was 2-0 around the half-hour mark. The young Afghanistan forward, now he's had dribbled 70 yards from his own half and found the finish into the far bottom corner. What a goal. It's 2-0 to Watford. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It is Watford 2, Southampton 0. What a first half for the Hornets. They took the lead in the opening 12 minutes. A big mistake at the back from Jack Stevens, who gifted possession to Ika Bravo, but he still had a lot to do. What a move from him. Lovely dribbling and an even better finish. And then it was 2-0 around the half-hour mark. The young Afghanistan forward, now he's had dribbled 70 yards from his own half and found the finish into the far bottom corner. What a goal. It's 2-0 to Watford. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It is Watford 2, Southampton 0. What a first half for the Hornets. They took the lead in the opening 12 minutes. A big mistake at the back from Jack Stevens, who gifted possession to Ika Bravo, but he still had a lot to do. What a move from him. Lovely dribbling and an even better finish. And then it was 2-0 around the half-hour mark. The young Afghanistan forward, now he's had dribbled 70 yards from his own half and found the finish into the far bottom corner. What a goal. It's 2-0 to Watford. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It is Watford 2, Southampton 0. What a first half for the Hornets. They took the lead in the opening 12 minutes. A big mistake at the back from Jack Stevens, who gifted possession to Ika Bravo, but he still had a lot to do. What a move from him. Lovely dribbling and an even better finish. And then it was 2-0 around the half-hour mark. The young Afghanistan forward, now he's had dribbled 70 yards from his own half and found the finish into the far bottom corner. What a goal. It's 2-0 to Watford. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It is Watford 2, Southampton 0. What a first half for the Hornets. They took the lead in the opening 12 minutes. A big mistake at the back from Jack Stevens, who gifted possession to Ika Bravo, but he still had a lot to do. What a move from him. Lovely dribbling and an even better finish. And then it was 2-0 around the half-hour mark. The young Afghanistan forward, now he's had dribbled 70 yards from his own half and found the finish into the far bottom corner. What a goal. It's 2-0 to Watford. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It is Watford 2, Southampton 0. What a first half for the Hornets. They took the lead in the opening 12 minutes. A big mistake at the back from Jack Stevens, who gifted possession to Ika Bravo, but he still had a lot to do. What a move from him. Lovely dribbling and an even better finish. And then it was 2-0 around the half-hour mark. The young Afghanistan forward, now he's had dribbled 70 yards from his own half and found the finish into the far bottom corner. What a goal. It's 2-0 to Watford. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It is Watford 2 at Southampton 0. What a first half for the Hornets. They took the lead in the opening 12 minutes. A big mistake at the back from Jack Stevens, who gifted possession to Ika Bravo, but he still had a lot to do. What a move from him. Lovely dribbling and an even better finish. And then it was 2-0 around the half-hour mark. The young Afghanistan forward Navizada dribbled 70 yards from his own half and found the finish into the far bottom corner. What a goal. It's 2-0 to Watford. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It is Watford 2 at Southampton 0. What a first half for the Hornets. They took the lead in the opening 12 minutes. A big mistake at the back from Jack Stevens, who gifted possession to Ika Bravo, but he still had a lot to do. What a move from him. Lovely dribbling and an even better finish. And then it was 2-0 around the half-hour mark. The young Afghanistan forward Navizada dribbled 70 yards from his own half and found the finish into the far bottom corner. What a goal. It's 2-0 to Watford. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It is Watford 2 at Southampton 0. What a first half for the Hornets. They took the lead in the opening 12 minutes. A big mistake at the back from Jack Stevens, who gifted possession to Ika Bravo, but he still had a lot to do. What a move from him. Lovely dribbling and an even better finish. And then it was 2-0 around the half-hour mark. The young Afghanistan forward Navizada dribbled 70 yards from his own half and found the finish into the far bottom corner. What a goal. It's 2-0 to Watford. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It is Watford 2 at Southampton 0. What a first half for the Hornets. They took the lead in the opening 12 minutes. A big mistake at the back from Jack Stevens, who gifted possession to Ika Bravo, but he still had a lot to do. What a move from him. Lovely dribbling and an even better finish. And then it was 2-0 around the half-hour mark. The young Afghanistan forward Navizada dribbled 70 yards from his own half and found the finish into the far bottom corner. What a goal. It's 2-0 to Watford. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It is Watford 2 at Southampton 0. What a first half for the Hornets. They took the lead in the opening 12 minutes. A big mistake at the back from Jack Stevens, who gifted possession to Ika Bravo, but he still had a lot to do. What a move from him. Lovely dribbling and an even better finish. And then it was 2-0 around the half-hour mark. The young Afghanistan forward Navizada dribbled 70 yards from his own half and found the finish into the far bottom corner. What a goal. It's 2-0 to Watford. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It is Watford 2 at Southampton 0. What a first half for the Hornets. They took the lead in the opening 12 minutes. A big mistake at the back from Jack Stevens, who gifted possession to Ika Bravo, but he still had a lot to do. What a move from him. Lovely dribbling and an even better finish. And then it was 2-0 around the half-hour mark. The young Afghanistan forward Navizada dribbled 70 yards from his own half and found the finish into the far bottom corner. What a goal. It's 2-0 to Watford. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It is Watford 2 at Southampton 0. What a first half for the Hornets. They took the lead in the opening 12 minutes. A big mistake at the back from Jack Stevens, who gifted possession to Ika Bravo, but he still had a lot to do. What a move from him. Lovely dribbling and an even... And we will leave that just there, because we are back underway at Vicarage Road. It is Watford 2, Southampton 0 after a fantastic first half from the home side. The Hornets completely took the game to Southampton when they went 1-0 up. They went 1-0 up thanks to a great goal from Ika Bravo. It was a big mistake at the back from Jack Stevens, but it took a lot more quality to really turn it into a goal-scoring opportunity, and Bravo did it all on his own. He plucked it out of the sky. He was driving forward, went to the right-hand side, and it was a lovely finish. Some great touches for him, and then not long later, the half-hour mark, they made it 2-0. The youngster Nabizada drove about 70 yards from his own half and went all the way and finished it himself. What a finish it was, and what a goal from the Afghanistan youngster. And Cienza almost starts this second half how we had the whole of the first half in terms of with a foul. It's still myself, Kieran Graham, alongside Simon Powell to bring you coverage of this one. And so fingers crossed, the entertainment levels continue.
Yeah, I mean, I think if Watford were to score the next goal, then it's game over, isn't it? And probably the entertainment levels would not continue. But, Southampton, they need to force the issue. They need to be more proactive in the second half. I think Tondereka probably needs to change the approach. He hasn't changed the personnel. Perhaps need to go longer, have a bit more variety in the game. Not seeing many long balls up to Larin. He's sort of striker that could play that role. Maybe get Cienza up alongside him and try and play for second balls on the edge of the box. They've got the two midfielders there, the holding midfielders. They could be quite effective in winning the ball back high and then just trying to stay on the front foot and build the pressure against Watford. But we'll see if that's the approach they take or not.
Yeah, let's see if that can continue. As we now see them on the right-hand side. It's a ball over hit towards the right. And we touched on Leo Cienza a lot in the first half, didn't we? Mainly the first 20 minutes or so. He was getting kicked all over the shop, wasn't he? He's okay to come out for the second half. They have to keep getting him involved, don't they? Because he went a bit quiet for maybe from when I passed over to you in the first half side, but he's the main man, isn't he?
Yeah, he's he's the one you want on the ball for them. He's the one you want higher up the pitch for them, I think, as well. That would be the issue for me. He's had a lot of play gone down here with a head injury, and the referee stopped the game. So Matsuki needs some attention. I don't think it was a flailing arm, although we'll see now. It's Keben. Keben is a little bit sort of loose with his arms, but he's not looking at Matsuki. So for me, I don't think that is anything punishable by a card or anything like that. I don't think VAR is going to get involved.
Yeah, well, exactly. VAR in that sense, but still down is Matsuki. Has he been booked for that challenge, Kevin?
No, I don't think so.
Nah, he's got away with it, and Mama's having a laugh with the referee. He's another one, very similar to Cienza. When he was picking it up, he was always driving at his man, and he was always getting clattered.
Yeah, but I think he was more sort of sticking to one area of the field, wasn't he? He was just sticking to his flank and not really coming into areas where he would, obviously the way that Cienza's playing, he's running into areas where there's a lot of bodies, there's a lot of, players to try and weave around. He's going to get brought down, whereas, the thing for Mama is he's out on the flank. The fullback he's up against is already on a yellow card, so he's probably not going to get the same kind of treatment now. If he stays out there, he's now got the fullback in on the back foot in a situation where he can really take advantage of one-on-ones, whereas Cienza is roaming all around the park and not really getting any space because he's getting jostled and hacked down, to be honest.
Yes, we see Matsuki, moving away to the side of the pitch after receiving a little bit of treatment. The referee allowing play to continue. So we now see Keben in possession. He finds Kiprianu, who looked like an early sub waiting to happen to me when he got yellow carded in the 8th minute. He put in another challenge after it, maybe 10 minutes later, and we thought, I certainly thought, maybe they're not going to risk him for much longer. But he's back out. He quieted down. He actually, in general, had a decent first half. Let things tick along really nicely. We spoke about what Southampton lacked in midfield. I think is what Watford really do have. Two confident players who are good defensively but want to get on the ball and carry their side forward. Zamora almost gets in behind chasing his own pass there. And it's a backwards pass towards Perez. His clearance isn't a great one and just gifts possession back to Watford. I'm so surprised, I don't know about you, side, that Southampton haven't made any changes.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's probably given them a bit of an ultimatum at half-time and said, you either pick this up or there is going to be wholesale changes. He might be thinking about a triple change, before the hour mark if things don't perk up for them. But they've got a chance to save themselves here and play a little bit better. But I do think they need to vary their approach. It still looks like it's the same style of football from Southampton. It wasn't effective in the first half, and I don't see why that necessarily would change in the second half.
Yeah, stubborn manager. He's Tonde Eka. He'll stick to his plan. Navizade steps in, and that's great from him. And it's a lovely ball for Traore, who's racing into the penalty area with a good chance. Traore on the right-hand side goes for goal, saved away by Perez to the edge of his own box. But the attack's still alive as it's a poor touch from Bragg. Berber in possession, turns away not once but twice from his man. But a big save from Perez, one that he had to make from the shot from the tight angle. But here's Navizade into the penalty area. He's still dancing in. They can't stop him, and then he goes for goal. And it's turned one into the hands of Perez. Well, Watford looking just as good as they were in the first half. What a start to the second half for them.
Yep, again, just breaking on Southampton, who get caught in the middle of the pitch, and then the pace of full-back on that side gets him in behind, and he produces a decent shot which needed saving by Perez.
As we now see Pollock, he plays it into the middle. Good ball in towards Kiprianu, who finds Bravo. Plays it to the left for Jordan Zamora. From Cherry's man, Keben, to the right for Pollock, who's got some options ahead. He picks the pass into Navizade. He tries a first-time touch around his man. It's not a great one. And then the risky pass into Dobbin. He just gets there ahead of Berber. Passing towards Flynn Downs, but once again, he looks forwards. He has a bit of space. He has a passing option, but turns around. There's no progressive
nature to this Southampton midfield or backline, which is really hampering the style at the moment. The Tondereka is maybe wanting from his side. Of course, these are all players, the back four and the midfield too, they were all there last season under Tondereka, so they should know the system very well by now, and he should know his players very well by now, but it's not working is this at the moment for Southampton. But they've certainly got the strength in depth to change this game if needed, and it absolutely is needed. As we now see Berver wins it back off Kyle Laring, goes back to his goalkeeper, who scoops it forwards looking for Dumbia, giving a little bit of a shove. It falls to Kyle Laring, decent first touch from him. He drives forward, good challenge in from Pollock. It ricochets back towards Lewis Dobbin though, cuts onto his right. He finds Cienza on the edge of the box. He's under a bit of pressure with not too many options. Cienza on the right hand side of the penalty area, 1v1 against Zamora. Plays it in towards the edge, and it's not a great pass, and it's cleared away by Cipriano, not once but twice as the Cypriot wins his second header. Down steps in once again. Cipriano steps in and wins it back for the third time in quick succession. Zamora gets across Matsuki, takes some lovely touches to get away, but Downs gets back, and it's relentless stuff from these two sides at the moment as Bragg is now on the attack. 53 minutes on the clock. Watford 2, Southampton 0. Both goals in the first half. That's a lovely ball around the corner from Manning, but well read by Pollock, and he puts in a very composed challenge to come away with the ball as well. For passing to Dumbia, he can't hold it and take it into his stride, so it trickles all the way back to Howard Bellis. And the Southampton centre half can find Flynn Downs. Howard Bellis again goes to the left hand side for Ryan Manning. He plays it forwards looking for Cienza. Sharp turn away from Traore. He's got 1v1 against the full-back. I've been really impressed with Traore, actually, the right-back. He's been really solid defensively. That's a poor touch from Dobbin and goes behind for a goal kick. But German defender Omar Hakhtar Traore was brought in the summer from Heidenheim, so a former teammate of Cienza, and essentially marking each other in this one. And Southampton are going to turn to the change, and it's the one that we said probably should have come up at half-time. Finners, when the ball next goes out of play, will be brought.
Yeah, and that'll be one of those two central midfielders, probably Bragg, I would have thought, that will be sacrificed. Just to try and be more offensive, go with two sort of more pushed up number 10s. Obviously, one has number 10 on his back, and Cienza effectively playing that role anyway today. He'll have a bit more license to roam around the pitch, and Azaz will be the sort of support act to Larin. That's if he makes the change, I would suspect, and take off one of those two holding midfielders.
Yes, we now see the ball in the middle. It's going to be a turn from Bragg. Goes to the left-hand side a little bit better. This is Cienza up against his former teammate Traore. Plays it all the way back for Manning. First time ball in towards the back post, but it's well dealt with by the goalkeeper, who had a shaky first introduction to this game, did Revalia, but has dealt with things that have been thrown his way since, which incidentally hasn't been too much. As we now see Kevin goes all the way back towards Revalia. He's going to go long up towards Dumbia, whose forward play and hold-up play this game has been really good, especially the first half. You can't let that one stick though. It's easy when you're up there on your own and you're defending a little bit more. Howard Bellis now has options to the right and the left. He's going to shuffle to the left-hand side, finds Manning, Dobbin, Cienza under a bit of pressure from Berver. That's maybe the message to the Italian midfielder in this second half. Stick tight to Cienza, try and make it as hard as possible for him, as we see a man go down out of possession. Not sure why, and it falls to Bragg. He finds Kyle Larin. A good play this, and it's a great finish. And it's a stab toe poke from Kyle Larin to get Southampton back in this one. I think a Watford man lost his footing just completely under no challenge, which maybe just threw the defence off a tiny bit. Lovely play from Southampton, and it's the Canadian with a toe poke finish to make it 2-1, and it's game on.
Yeah, I mean, nobody ever gets close to Bragg. I think Cipriano was one that fell over, and then Bragg just, keeps on going, links up with Larin twice, and Larin gets a bit of space there. I don't think it's great defending from Kebben and Pollock either. Pollock gets crossed up with Kebben, and then Zamora is trying to cover in the end as Larin produces that toe poke finish, which is perfect just to squeeze it past the diver of Agli and give Southampton a lifeline in the game.
Yeah, lifeline given to Southampton here, who maybe don't deserve this at this stage, but Kyle Larin brought in the summer on a permanent after a decent loan spell last season, and for Watford now it's about we're going to learn a lot about how they can really deal with being under pressure. How can they deal with a lead. The change has been made as well, so they've still gone through with it. Lewis Dobbin has made way for Finn Azaz, who will go into that number 10 role, as we now see James Bree. So Matsuki and Cienza, you think, are just going to be the wide players from now on, because there was a lot of rotation between those three.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that makes sense. Especially as Bragg actually played a really big role in the goal as well, so you can't take him off at that point. Yeah, they come again, Southampton.
Yeah, almost a mess at the back. It ricochets towards Kyle Larin on the volley. Good save from Ravalia. Down quickly, should I say, to his bottom left post, and it's a mess at the back from Watford, who just couldn't clear their lines. Wasn't great from Kevin, not great from Pollock, and Kyle Larin, he just didn't generate enough power, did he? Hits it into the ground pretty quickly. It's very accurate, but good positioning and a good save.
Yeah, 6'6", and he needed all those inches to get to that one, did Ravaglia down at the near post, but showed his reactions were on point. Corner to Southampton.
Yeah, reactions were on point in that one, as we now see this ready to be whipped in Cienza towards the centre of the penalty area. Well headed away by Dumbia, only as far as Flynn Downs, who picks it back up. Thought about the forward pass, didn't. He goes backwards instead towards Bragg, and that's a terrible forward pass from him. And here come Watford on the break. It's Nabizada driving forwards on this left hand side. He finds Marmot, who we've not seen too much of in this second half. Ball around the corner, and what a ball that is for Bravo. Great first touch, and what a sliding challenge that is. That is goal saving, could be game saving from Ryan Manning. I mean, that pass from Marmot couldn't have been any better. Great first touch from Bravo, but what a challenge.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually an easier chance than the one he scored from, isn't it? Put on a plate by a fantastic Trivella pass from Marmot, and then from nowhere, Manning has slid in there. He's got himself hurt, actually, as he's stopped the shot, and then I think he's jarred his knee in doing so, because basically Bravo was in the act of shooting, plenty of power behind the effort, but Manning's intervention has kept it at 2-1.
Yeah, it has, as we now see the ball whipped in and cleared away out for a Watford throw-in. But yeah, this second half just as good as the first. I mean, there's been pure entertainment in this game. It's been a fantastic watch as this hour of football, as we see Lewis Dobbin, just pictures of him on the bench there, not looking too impressed, as we now see Pollock on the right hand side, launched it long, looking for Nabizada. Good hold up play from him, but a poor touch from Berver, and that goes out of play for a throw-in. And you can see the Southampton coaching staff there. They're desperate to just keep this intensity going. They'll back themselves in terms of they can force mistakes if they keep getting on top of Watford here, but Southampton have to be careful themselves, because Watford's main strength today has been counter-attacking, so can't open themselves up too much. Bree with the ball into the penalty area. Is that a high boot from Larin? Didn't seem like one to me. Pollock diving pretty low to win his header, and the referee waits play to continue. Finn Azaz tries to turn away from Pollock. Good challenge from the centre-half. Traore against Cienza, hooks it forwards. Nabizada and then heads it out of play for a throw-in, and Watford are now going to act with a triple change themselves. They almost... they're smelling a little bit of danger, but that change not being allowed, and there's a strike at goal from Azaz, and it goes behind for a goal kick. And I think the Watford players are frustrated with the referee for allowing the throw-in to be taken so quick. They wanted the subs.
They were expecting a sub, and then they've taken the throw in. Watford's defenders weren't necessarily ready for it, and that's allowed Azaz to get a snatched shot in from a tight angle, which he never really got under control. But here are the three changes made by Dionisi. He's going to take off Eduardo Bove first of all, so changing the midfield area. Yeah,
it looks like it's going to be Adu Poku, Paero and Kayembe coming on for Berva, Nabizada and Ika Bravo. Well, Ika Bravo's been great today. He's got a great goal as well. Nabizada, he's worked his socks off as the youngster. He really has. He's going to make way. He's also scored a great goal. And Berva still working back to full fitness. Of course, a triple change that should add a lot of energy for the Hornets.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like, it's bang on the hour mark. It's pre-planned. Necessarily it's a reflection on those three players' performances. I think this is something that probably when Dionisi was drawing up his game plan, he thought, well, I need these fresh legs on in these key positions at this point in time. So, as soon as the clock ticked over the hour mark, they've come on. We'll see if it has the desired effect in just keeping the intensity levels high for Watford.
Yeah, it's a big moment from Adu Poku as well, because he's come through the Watford Academy. He was on loan last season at Wealdstone in the National League as a forward, scored 0 goals, and now he's on the pitch with 30 minutes of game time in the Championship. Does just show what can happen maybe when a new manager comes in as well. He certainly must have caught the eye, so excited to see what he can bring to this one. And Paero onto the field of play as well. Of course, a midfielder, very more composed Argentine midfielders. We now see the ball go to the right hand side for Flynn Downs. He plays it to the right further for Matsuki. Inwards pass for Bragg. Turns away for Downs. He's going to go for Howard Bellis. He plays it to the left hand side for Stevens. And this is much better from Southampton. Manning finds Cienza. Ball around the corner is a decent one, but a poor first touch from Finizas. And there's Kayembe stepping in. You know what you're going to get from Kayembe, a great player, and here he comes on the attack. Still Kayembe bombing down the right hand side. He's got an option from Adu Poku on the right. He ignores him, goes onto his stronger left foot. He hits it from distance. It's a low tame effort blocked away by Howard Bellis, and here comes Southampton on the counter attack now. Matsuki turns away from his man. I mean, it is a relentless second half. It really is. Both sides are just attack minded. This is perfect to watch for myself and Si, as we now see Flynn Downs. He's been taken down by Paera. No free kick given in the end, and a little bit of pushing and shoving, and Flynn Downs not too happy with it. He's smiling and they're laughing with each other. Not really a matter that the referee has to get too involved in, because it's not like they started pushing and shoving, is it? They just maybe just started smiling at each other, and the referee, much better. If that happened in the first half, he'd have booked them both. So he's obviously calmed down a little bit as the referee in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, I think Watford are a little bit rattled now, whereas it was Southampton who were rattled in the first half. Watford are struggling to get the foot on the ball at all, and they're trying anything they can to break up the play and get in the faces. And I think that was a bit of a case of the substitute just perhaps overstepping the mark there. The referee quickly sorted it out, and play continues. As long as he adds on the time that we're trying to waste, that's fair enough.
Now see James Bree with the ball in the hand. He throws it all the way back towards Howard Bellis. Now see Cameron Bragg, who of course assisted the opening Southampton goal moments ago from Kyle Larin. Technically a second debut for him. He of course scored last week as well in the EFL Cup, so the perfect start to the season for the Canadian. It looks like he's going to be the bagsman for this Southampton side, as we now see the ball with Ryan Manning. Decent first touch from him, plays it inwards for Bragg. He's going to look central for Matsuki. Great first time ball into Finizas, driving forwards himself. He picks a nice pass for Kyle Larin, cuts inside, goes for goal, well blocked by Pollock, but he was offside again, was Kyle Larin. It's a few times he's been caught by that offside flag, hasn't it, the Canadian? Finizas, he's frustrated with something. He's had quite a few touches since coming on, but hasn't been able to create that spark just yet.
Yeah, he's getting into the right place, right positions on the edge of the box, and Larin's strength and his qualities there have allowed as that's to play off him. He just hasn't quite produced the right final pass or got the shot away yet. He snatched that chance a few minutes ago, and he's just looked a little bit sort of not at his best so far.
Yeah, not at his best just yet, as we now see the ball on the left hand side with Cipriano. He finds Kayembe, looks to turn away from Downs. Good challenge in from Downs. Then Cipriano tries to step across. That looks like it should be a Southampton thrown in. It is. Came off the chest of the Cypriot. And we now see the ball in hand from Bree. Throws it all the way back to Howard Bellis. Howard Bellis now in possession. Goes towards Bragg. It's on the left hand side with Ryan Manning. Watford not really applying as much of a high press as we saw in the first half. Trying to protect this lead that little bit more, not take as many risks, but it worked very well in the opening 45. As we now see Howard Bellis, ball to the right for James Bree. Down the line looking towards Matsuki, under pressure. Good sliding challenge in from Kevin, one that he had to get spot on, and a strong challenge.
Yeah, fans love that. They're coming under a lot of pressure at the moment, Watford, aren't they? And tackles like that will just help to break up the rhythm that Southampton have got in the passing.
As you now see the ball go all the way back towards Perez. Perez finds Stevens. Got a torrid first half. Hasn't had as much to do in the second. Howard Bellis now finds
Il ne part pas. Allez, allez. Il recule.